Okay, next we have a gate, which is an automatic way to open and close our channel depending on how loud our input signal is. Now, if you're not sure what gates are, look at the Mixing 101 section of this training. I've brought in a snare drum down in this channel. You can hear that the mic has picked up the snare, but also other drums have bled into that mic as well. Listen. I can hear many hi-hat and a little bit of kick drum. So a carefully set gate will only open when the snare is hit and then close the channel down the rest of the time. The main control we'll look at is the threshold. So I'll turn the gate on, I'll turn the expander off, and we'll set the threshold to its max. Now you'll notice a couple of things. The sound has completely gone away, and the gain reduction metering up here shows that the gate has reduced the gain on that channel a lot. If we start pulling down that threshold, then the snare hits will just start to peek through. Now, if you set it way high like this, then only the very hardest hits will get through. Some of the grace notes, like the roughs and more subtle nuances, will not make it through the gate. So your job is to adjust it to a level where you get all the good stuff to go through and the low level stuff to be kind of weeded out. Now, the low-level stuff can be completely muted by using the range setting right here. So its max here is actually pulling down the unwanted stuff by 84 dB, which is pretty much like muting it. If you like, you can set it to a more subtle amount, say reducing it by 6 or 12 dB or whatever. So that's a more subtle gate. If you really want to act like a mute control, then you can set it to its max right here. So this is kind of a binary type on-off gate, or a more subtle gain reduction of the unwanted stuff that doesn't reach that threshold there. Now, the next couple of controls adjust how quickly the gate opens and closes. So here, how a slow attack could totally miss the initial transient of the snare. A very fast attack will open up straight away. And then a quick release could close too quickly and really not capture the full release of the snare drum. But if it's too long, then it can stay open long enough to have some of the other unwanted stuff there. So you just really need to kind of mess around with this attack and release until you get a good setting. For most situations, just set the gate to open as quickly as possible unless you get clicks and such, and then adjust the release for long enough to let all of that sound get through. For most gating situations, this is basically all you need to worry about. There are a couple more controls actually if you want to get more detailed. By default, the expander option is enabled, which for all intents and purposes acts very similar to a gate. It's generally felt that an expander is a little bit smoother than a gate, but just use your ears to taste. Now, the key filter here can focus a little bit more on what will trigger the gate to open. As we've seen, the threshold function right here, that's the main control which governs whether the gate opens or closes. However, you can zero in on a certain frequency so that the gate will concentrate on that area more in terms of whether to open the gate or not. A classic example would be a kick drum. If you zero into, say, 63 hertz here, the fundamental frequency of a kick drum is around 60 hertz. So if you zero right in that on a kick drum channel, that will get a really quick open. Now, if you want to listen to what the noise gate is removing, you can use the key listen function right here. Solo that selected channel, and you'll be able to hear what is being removed in the control room outputs.